So we kind of know that this is gonna get pretty heavy tonight. Oh my gosh!
A landscaper at the hotel recently discovered something pretty creepy.
You didn't just smack the bed?
They have dug up bottles filled with human body parts.
Yes. We are here at the Eureka Springs Crescent Hotel, just like we were for my very first YouTube video. So I am so excited to be back again. I can't wait to show you guys this room. I have never stayed in the downstairs ever before. I've been going to this hotel since I was 12 years old, and I have never even seen this room, or I didn't even know this room existed. We are very, very grateful to the Crescent Hotel for letting us use their suite tonight. They completely comped this for us. We're gonna be able to go to so many different hot spots, spend the night here, and I'm also gonna get into some deep dive of Norman Baker himself. I'm already hearing noises while I'm here. I keep hearing stuff running up and down the hall because we have a hallway in our room. This is 2 rooms, a living room, and a bathroom combined. Let me show you guys just to give like a little bit of perspective on where I am. If you guys have been to the Crescent before, the ballroom is right here. Where a lot of the stuff and a lot of like the women in Victorian wear have been photographed. I don't know how sleeping here is gonna go. I'm gonna be doing my usual. I'm gonna have equipment set up behind me. This thing is already working. Let's go ahead and turn on this bad boy. 2, 3, 4. Does that mean that it's out of batteries? Let me go change this battery. I just put a fresh battery in it and hopefully. Okay, so it wasn't the battery. Well, I guess let's just go ahead and get into Mr. Norm's life. Well, Norman Baker was born on November 27th of 1882. Is that the year that the Crescent was built? What year was the Crescent Hotel built? Is that a yes? Dude, 1886. So he was born close to the time that the Crescent was even built in the first place. And he was born to a wealthy family in a small Mississippi town called Muscatine. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Muscatine, Iowa. He was the 10th child and also the last child of locally prominent parents. So he's already the youngest, the baby of the family. His dad's name was John Baker, and he had reportedly already patented 126 different inventions. And then his mother, Frances Mary, was already a writer before she was even married. Well, in 1898, Norman actually quit high school at the age of 16 and decided to become a mechanist. So he traveled town to town working as a tool maker. What are you going off for? Then one night, Norman actually saw this show called Mental Suggestion, and it was like a magic show, and he was hooked. It was a show that was put on by a guy by the name of Professor Flint. He was captivated by his ability, so he really wanted to create his own show. He had some rough times really getting this started at first, but by 1904, he had his own little troupe together. And the star of the show was a mind reader by the name of Madame Tangley? Tangley? Something like that. Let me tell you, this show became a hit. This was the circus of all circuses. People lined up to come see this. But by 1909, that Madame Tangley ended up quitting, and later on, this girl Teresa actually took over and he married her. So this show continued for another 4 years until around like 1914. Mr. and Mrs. Baker actually found themselves in Muscatine again, and they tended just to like take a little bit of a break from the show life, rest and recover, R&R, and then they intended to be back out again by that fall, but fate kind of intervened and that never really happened. Well, that summer he started to tinker around a little bit in his brother's machine shop and actually created an invention of his own called the calliophone. But it was a new kind of organ instrument that played with air rather than steam, making it a lot more efficient, and I think that's actually what is downstairs out in the lobby. He sold his first one for a whopping $500, which is the equivalent of like 10,000 today. He ended up making a couple more of these, selling these, and this is whenever the amusement business didn't really satisfy him anymore because he was able to like actually make a quick buck. This new invention is really what funded him into becoming the wealthy man that he was. Well, the year after that, 1915, became a very big year for Norman Baker. He quit the theater business, divorced his wife, and became a full-time manufacturer. And at its height, this business pulled more than $200,000 a year. And in the 1920s, Norman actually ended up opening up an art correspondence school. He wasn't good at art. at all. He actually admitted that he wasn't good at art, but he had a tendency to say that he was doing things for the good of other people and the good of the community, when in actuality, he really just wanted to make a buck. He reportedly got $75,000 in the 3 years teaching other people how to do art. We're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. In 1925, he went to the Muscatine Chamber of Commerce and said that he wanted a radio show. He wanted a platform, but this wasn't for him. No. This was gonna be for the good of the community, obviously. He's very altruistic. He said that he wanted to popularize Muscatine, Iowa throughout the world. All he asked in return for his gesture was free electricity, water, and taxes. And they agreed. So now he was living basically like rent-free in Muscatine, all in exchange for a radio show. Basically what he promised was daily talks, boosting Muscatine, make this small town seem very desirable. What was that? Did you guys hear that? Ooh. Hello? There's nobody else in here. That's coming from the room next door. Guess what he decided to name his radio show? KTNT, Know the Naked Truth. Huh. It's giving, and this is one of my assumptions, but it is giving the equivalent of Man with Podcast. If you know, you know. Obviously, because he is greater than thou, he wanted the highest place on the biggest hill in Muscatine to where he could set this place up, and he pimped himself out. He wanted to be a beacon of light for the businessmen and the small guys and the farmers. And a lot of the farming people, because of course this is a pretty small town, they were very wary of him whenever he started doing this. Like, this is a lot of new technology, a lot of new ideas. They weren't super into it at first, but he kind of posed himself as like, it's us against them. Like, I'm the one that's truthful, but like big media doesn't want to hear me out. I think you guys like kind of know, because we know that these stories now with the podcast men. You guys know what I'm talking about. Not gonna name drop anything here. But he showed up every single day with his purple tie, his flamboyant attitude, and pretty much purple everything. He had this deep obsession with purple, hence the eye makeup that's going on here. On Thanksgiving Day, 1925, this is when KTNT ended up taking the air for the very first time. And he ended up earning a lot of trust from the rural townspeople. Slowly became one of the biggest radio shows in the Midwest. Like, he was really acting like he was fighting for freedom of the airwaves with these people. A lot of his broadcasts were just attacking people. He would attack the American Medical Association, he would attack Aluminum Trust, he would attack Wall Street, all whilst pitching his products and selling his products to people. And by 1928, Baker actually legally received a license in order to be broadcasted to 10,000 watts. I didn't know what the crap that was, but that means that he was able to be broadcasted to 1 million homes. This guy is a full-blown early 1900s influencer. But as the popularity grew, his attacks on people got a lot more intense and a lot more personal. He would make really baseless attacks on very prominent people that he deemed his enemies. He would accuse people from everything from adultery to drunkenness. Like, it didn't matter. He would just like, you, like never. There was never any finger pointing back at him. In 1929, Norman ended up becoming aware of a guy by the name of Charles Ozias, who was operating a cancer sanitarium out of Kansas City. And he was going on air and he was saying for the interest of the public good, he wanted to investigate a little bit more of this doctor's claims. This guy was claiming that he had the cure for cancer that was non-surgical. Baker, being interested, was like, let's see what happens here. So on the airwaves, he asked if he could have 5 volunteers who were people who had cancer who wanted to be cured, essentially. And he invited them all down and got them to be treated by this Dr. Charles, all while he was footing the bill. So the spring and summer of 1929, these 5 volunteers stayed with Dr. Charles Ozias, and Norman had actually planned to publish an article about this in December of 1929, sharing like how they all got better, how amazing this treatment was. So he went ahead and made a magazine called TNT and started to publish these findings in there, and made himself a smiling cover of it with some associates in the background. And he asserted that using aluminum products, especially aluminum cooking utensils, caused cancer. And he warned that cancer was not curable through operation, radium, and x-rays no. Cancer wasn't going to be cured through any of these. It was going to be cured through injections. And he actually referred to surgeons as being cutters. Again, taking like the us and them narrative. No, modern medicine doesn't actually want to heal you whatsoever, but I do. Which I feel like, of course, there can be some claims on modern medicine and some of the stuff that it has there, but at the same time, like, he's not in it for the right reasons either. And it can be hard to differentiate those types of people. And he claimed that these fancy injections would eat the cancer up without harming the surrounding tissue, which is a pretty big claim if you know anything about cancer. Now the public can rest easy because now that we've figured this out, you know, nobody has to go through surgery again. But there was just one teensy weensy problem with this and these claims, is that over the course of the next several months, each of these patients that were undergoing treatment would begin to die, his test patients. And you think that this would maybe, I don't know, stop him from publishing this magazine, but no, it did not whatsoever. He went ahead and published this magazine anyways. And in this magazine, he detailed the miraculous recovery of these 5 patients. So it was just all flat out lies. This guy is a liar. And of course, he is using his radio station to advertise his new hospital. And in March of 1930, he ended up hiring a guy by the name of Harry Hawksley. And a lot of people were like, why'd you hire this man? Because this man was another alternative medicine cuckoo guy. And people were like, well, if you already have the cure, like, why are you using his? Because his method was called the Hawksley method. He had his very own method put together. Essentially, what was being injected into people was a solution containing glycerin, carbolic acid, alcohol, which was mixed with tea brewed from watermelon seed, brown corn silk, and clover leaves. That was what was being injected into people. But even though there was like a lot of criticism involving this Harry guy, it did not slow down business one bit. Well, in April of 1930, this is whenever beef got real personal with the American Medical Association. The lead editor actually started to publish articles being like, who is this guy? Why is he making these claims? What the hell? He's using the public's mistrust in medical professionals already and then taking that and using it against them. And so many of these people have family members that are struggling, dying of cancer. They are desperate to have some results. And again, you're combining that with mistrust of medical professionals. It's the perfect concoction. So yeah, so they were very openly dissing Mr. Baker. And Mr. Baker ended up firing back at them saying, no, I do have the cure. And they actually offered me $1 million for it just so they could get rid of it entirely. So everybody would have to still go through surgery anyways. Again, just lying. And they continued to go back and forth with each other on and on and on. The American Medical Association would be like, he's a quack. And then he would be like, no, I'm not. You're just jealous and you want what I have. And then would pull out, oh, here's another testimony from a patient I cured. Like, no, you didn't, bro. So the American Medical Association was like, yo, licensing boards need to shut him down. The radio commission needs to shut this guy down. He's harming the public, actively harming the public. He just responded by suing them for defamation for like $500,000. And he even went as far as accusing the American Medical Association from sending assassins to unalive him. And he detailed this whole experience, saying that he and Harry is it because I said Hoxie? Or is it because of the assassination attempt? Whoa, okay. Yeah, he even stated that a gunfight ensued between him and the assailants. He and Hoxie wounded one of them before his fellow gunmen made their getaway. Is that all true or is that false? I can't tell if it's going off. Can you back away if it's true? Is Norman here with us? Mr. Norman? Dr. Baker? So Mr. Baker ended up actually filing a report against the American Medical Association for this whole event that had apparently went down, but obviously nothing ever came of it just because of lack of evidence of it occurring. Well, he wanted to make one final attempt to really sway the public, and so he decided to hold a demonstration on May 12th. And whenever he did this public demonstration, you cannot make this up. Guess how many people showed up? Take a guess right now. 40 to 50,000 people showed up for this man, for this public demonstration. And basically, like, what he wanted to do was to end people's fear over, or just end people's speculation over his methods being harmful. In fact, he had the best methods. He decided that he was going to have a former patient come up and share his story about how amazing it was for him and everything that happened and it cured him. And then, I'm not even joking, y'all, like this, I've never in history heard about this happening at any other time. He decides that he's going to have open surgery in front of everyone, in front of this crowd of people, in order to show how his methods work. So he invites this guy up, 68-year-old man by the name of Manus Johnson. They operate on his skull whilst he is fully conscious. They have his head open, and Baker claims that there's cancerous tissue there, and then he puts his miracle stuff on the tissue and says, boom, it's cured. Yeah. So Norman had done damage control. He had pretty much won over the audience. People now believe that the American Medical Association was choosing profits over patients. And he told the crowd that the term MD really just stood for more dough. Very interesting. Sounds like a little bit of transference is happening. I don't know. How would I know? But he assured people that he would not stop fighting for medical trust. I can't. Yeah, and this whole demonstration obviously ended up turning into booming business for Mr. Baker. And new patients, very sadly and very scarily, were arriving daily in order to receive this miracle care that he claimed that he had and what they thought they had seen. And the AMA, poor things, were just trying their hardest to fight back and fight against this. They even debunked Mr. Johnson's surgery that happened on stage in front of everyone. He had a condition that caused inflammation of his outer skull. What the crowd saw in the demonstration was not the man's brain, but a medullary portion of the man's skull. Well, in the beginning of 1931, things began to really unravel for Norman. The AMA was actively lobbying at the Federal Radio Commission, trying to get his show taken off air and just like get his license suspended entirely. And in May of 1931, they actually forced him off the air and just flat out didn't renew his license. And his reputation after this really took a beating. There was a whole court hearing, and a lot of former patients and friends and family came and spoke out against Norm. So this was pretty rough for him. So he decided to be like, screw it, I'm heading out and I'm moving to Mexico, and I'm gonna have my radio from Mexico. So he tried to have influence from afar. Eventually, over time, this was just not good enough for him anymore. He is a very money-hungry, power-hungry man. The final blow was a warrant out for him to be practicing medicine without a professional medical license. So this is whenever he flew to Mexico. I don't know why that's going off like that. I feel like something's just hanging out in this area. And if you guys are seeing anything or hearing anything that I'm not seeing or hearing, please let me know. So yeah, so his Baker Institute in Iowa was no more, trying to influence from afar, but power hungry, money hungry, and this just didn't satisfy him past a certain amount of time. So he decided to make his way back to the States. He went back to Muscatine and actually pled guilty for practicing without a license, and all he had to do was be in prison for like one day. And then afterwards he tried to run for governor of Iowa and failed, so he just ended up leaving Iowa for good. And having been run out of his home state, he ended up in the small town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And this town had suffered pretty greatly from the Depression, so having someone with like new business ideas come in was kind of a relief for them at the time. Bought this beautiful Victorian hotel, you know, was originally made as a hotel and then was a conservatory for girls for a little bit, and then of course his hospital. Very, very stunning place. Of course, that's where we are now, the Crescent Hotel. If you want to know a little bit more about the history, that's all on my TikTok of the place itself, but I just really wanted to use this time to deep dive into Norman Baker. This place had really fallen on hard times, but he quickly picked it back up and got it to start going again and made it into quite a nice place, really purpled it out. He painted a lot of it purple. He hired a staff, gave them purple uniforms, even still parts of the outside painted purple to this day, which I'll show you guys. Basically, this man picked up right where he left off with the same exact scam as before. Reportedly, this man was pulling in $500,000 a year. How crazy is that? There's lots of allegedlys during this time. I don't know how much is true or how much has just kind of become a story throughout the years, but allegedly there's rumors that he would even write back to the families of the patients, like saying like, oh, like we're getting better, we're doing so good. While they were over here, whenever they were miserable, the injections were apparently very painful. Like it wasn't some light thing, and they'd be over here for months and months and then officially die. And we're gonna be even going down to like the morgue and stuff today, where he was keeping a lot of the bodies of the patients that would pass. And reportedly, that we know of so far, 44 people died specifically here, but hundreds more after they left. I mean, painful treatments, abuse and power. Think of how awful is this? And of course, whenever a lot of trauma is just trapped into a place, like there's going to be alleged haunts that just occur. And this is one of those like really, really major locations. This is why this is like the third most haunted place in all of the United States is because of how much trauma is trapped in these walls. It appears that just about anybody that came to see him for cancer treatment only lived, if they did live after leaving here, only lived for a short while. And the American Medical Association actually believes and has stated that the injections hastened their death even further than what it even needed to be, which is horrible. It was less time with the families. He ended up defrauding cancer sufferers for over $4 million. $4 million. And for 2 years, he thrived here, but the clock was ticking. People were done. People were done with him and his BS. Because he was now this marked man by federal authorities. And so people were, no, they were just like, this has gone off long enough. We need to figure out a way to get this guy. So they actually ended up getting him through mail fraud. They had quietly investigated him from afar, but in 1939, they ended up actually getting him for mail fraud. So the trial was held in January of 1940 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Norman was found guilty on all 7 accounts. He appealed this decision, but it was denied. And the opinion handed down by the Court of Appeals basically just said that Norman's cancer cure was pure hoax. He was sent to Leavenworth Federal Penitentiary and was set to serve there for 4 years, which the AMA essentially deemed was too light of a sentence for what this man did. He was no longer Norman Baker, millionaire businessman. He was now inmate 58197. In a statement in the warden's report, Norman actually stated, "I am not guilty. They have never proven anything in the indictment. We figure this was a railroading proposition. In my opinion, the jury was fixed and influenced. We have hired a private detective to look into the matter. It is believed that whiskey and women were made available to the jurors. We were railroaded by the American Medical Association, who have been after me for years. Even after being put behind bars for running an entire hoax, he is still trying to blame other people and just completely fabricate stuff, saying that he was obviously put behind bars because the jurors were paid off to do so, which is just absolutely crazy. There's also been like a book made about this guy called Doctors, Dynamiters, and Gunmen. The author is Alvin Winston, like kind of a pro-Norman, which really shows like the influence that people had. And I went onto Amazon to see if that book was still available, and the reviews were interesting. Like 2 reviews that I saw that were under that, it seemed that the life of Norman Baker actually won over a couple people, so he still has supporters to this day. It's pretty much the finished makeup look. I'm gonna see if I can find my lashes. I don't know if I brought my lashes with me or not. I thought I did, but I might not have. I swear I just saw something like kind of glistening walk past. Are you here? And before I forget, let me tell you guys too some more info that we got on the tour tonight. I didn't realize some of the stuff that had went down post Norman's arrest, because after he was arrested, he had actually given all of his money to a girlfriend of his so that the state couldn't come in and take it away from him. And then when he finally got out of prison, he went back to her and was like, "Hey, where's my money?" And she had actually gotten remarried during that time period and was like, you know, living off the money with her new husband. And he took her to court and they split it 3 ways between him, her, and the new husband. No idea why, but Norm was not people's favorite person during that time. Afterwards, he came back to Muscatine and tried to open up a tuberculosis hospital. And they were just done with his shit by that point. Just like, no, absolutely not. He ended up going and buying a yacht and moving to Florida and dying of, can you guess it? Cancer. And obviously he didn't take his potion number 5 that he had concocted. He knew that it didn't work and he passed away. So karma's a bitch. But years later, a gardener ended up actually finding bottles of this number 5 substance, as well as tumors that Norman had taken out of people, on top of that, bed sores, all jarred up and put into the yard here.
They have dug up bottles filled with human body parts.
They've discovered 500 bottles altogether that point to the stories of Norman Baker using the hotel back in the late 1930s to treat cancer patients.
I've never actually ghost hunted in the morgue, even though I've been here so many times. So we're gonna start tonight off with, in the morgue, a little drink. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're in room 110, and just set this down. It started going off for a second. So something's probably in here, whether it wants to communicate or not. I don't really know.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Are there any spirits here that can hear my voice that want to come through and talk with us?
Help. Fetus.
We always get that.
You always
We get that all the time.
Like the word fetus?
Yeah, all the time.
What is your name?
Was someone right over here?
No.
You didn't just smack the bed?
I sat down and
It's not touching the bed though.
but it didn't touch the bed.
It seemed, I thought like you just like smacked the bed.
No,
right
but the
there.
REM pod just went off.
Going back in.
Were you a victim of Norman Baker? Do they not like talking about him?
I think that is
I feel like there's something over here.
Can you touch my friend on her shoulder gently if you're sitting next to her?
Stop. Right. Shoulder.
Ooh.
1. I'm next.
You're next for what?
Step back. You.
Can you tell me where
With the dark hair.
All three of us have dark hair.
13. 11.
Maybe it's
9.
something residual.
I'm gonna write this down just in case.
13, 11, 9.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We get dates sometimes.
Oh.
Is it a date you're trying to tell us?
Gone. Can you remember those numbers?
Yeah, I wrote them down.
Y'all, I literally feel like there's something crawling up my back. If anybody has like a phone camera, take a picture. Are you ready?
Yep. Cheese.
Ready, set, shoot. I'm in your skin.
My God.
Oh. What
Yo,
does
I've never heard the box say that.
what does that mean?
Are you talking about our ghost tattoos? I hope that's just it.
Are you sad too?
No. Why are you sad?
Very much so. I'm sad.
Why?
Much. 1. I need help.
Were you a patient here? I can't figure out who
No.
you're talking to.
No.
Were you here for business?
No.
Why were you here?
Need help.
But you weren't a patient?
I'm in.
Are you in the room with us?
Morgue. It said morgue. Freezing.
Sorry. I didn't like that. I'm in your skin.
I've never heard it say that before.
That was weird.
Yeah, I was like, and I borderline debated for a second. I was like, do I want to say that out loud? Like, do I want to share that with the room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me share with you though, like, what can I like touch you so I can share what I felt.
I came over with the EMF and didn't get anything.
Okay. I'm glad you did. So it started with like, why does that thing keep going off? It's not went off once until this investigation. Like I've never had the temperature thing until here.
We had, whenever we took people to 109, one of their pieces of equipment, their temperature thing was going crazy
Yeah.
until we had to take the batteries out because it was literally off and it was still beeping. And I don't know what that means because
I changed it in the room because it was doing the temperature thing.
Yeah. What did you feel on your back?
It was like playing with that lining between like where your like dimples, like your back dimples are. It was like this.
Oh.
Yeah. It was very much, and then it was gone. How many people died here in total? Wasn't it like 44? But most died after.
We don't have an exact number.
Okay.
So it's just like all estimated. Basically, I've heard any number between 1 and 1,000. So obviously more than 1, but we have like the samples. But yeah, I don't think we have an exact number. And every time I have tried to get an exact number.
It wasn't focusing?
No, it wasn't focused. It was like trying to focus on another face.
Jesus Christ.
So what was your name again?
Deidre.
How long have you been here?
Almost a year. Lived here my whole life though.
Wow.
Fuller, who owned the Crescent in the 50s, is my great uncle.
Whoa.
Wow.
So you have like family tie roots here.
Yes.
Wow.
Are there any spirits here in this room with us that want to communicate?
What did you mean about being in my skin?
How do you feel about having this room remodeled?
Oh, what did those numbers mean earlier?
Okay. I've only ever caught one EVP. And that
They're
was
rare.
that was a woman, clear as day, saying no. I didn't even ask a question. I turned it on. It was at the Grafton Inn in Massachusetts when I went to the Conjuring House. We were in a haunted inn. You know what I did? I plugged headphones into it. Because if you plug headphones into it, you get like supersonic hearing. You can hear everything. And I plugged it in and Heather was next to me. And I was like, did you just say no? And she was like, no. And I was live. And so I was like, there's no way. Like I literally just heard someone whisper no. It was crazy.
Are there any spirits here in this room with us that want to communicate?
What is that? That sounds like water running.
That's just the sound of the air conditioner.
It might have been that because it's voice activated. So it's
Okay.
only going to pick up the like voices, but it's not going to pick that up actually. It wouldn't pick that up. Okay, I'm going to do it again and see if we can pick if it picks it up again. Because if it does it again, then it's going to be like something
In the room,
Yeah.
Why do you want us to come down to the morgue? Can you tell us who's in the morgue? Baker, can you tell me how many bodies have been in the morgue?
What do you mean about first and earlier?
Why do you want us to come down to the morgue?
It's there still. It's got to be.
That was,
Gotta be-
yeah,
okay.
I heard that. Got goosebumps.
Can you tell us who's in the morgue? What did you mean about our skin earlier? Baker, can you tell me how many bodies have been in the morgue?
What was that?
No, there's not like a distinctive.
What did you mean about our skin earlier?
Just to show you a little bit of what our tour guide showed us earlier. So this is what the window in here looked like. You don't see really anything here. Well, the next photo that he took, look at that. That was in here. So we're gonna see if we can maybe talk to her.
What's the most you can play? 30 seconds before getting copyright? Or is it 20 seconds?
Barbie. Oh, shut up.
I knew the music would do it!
Oh my gosh. Oh! Can you touch that again, please? Okay, if you're here, can you back away from it if you want to talk? If you want to talk, back away. Can you stop?
I've never heard that thing go off. Ever.
Yeah.
She never goes off.
All right, if you're ready to talk, can you please back away from the Barbie Jeep? Are you excited to touch it? If something is directly on it, if it's that, because that's all the way.
Do you like the music?
Look, you dancing?
Is this door original?
No.
It's not.
Because I was gonna say maybe they're like coming in or like going out.
Yeah.
We just replaced the door 2 months ago. Maybe you don't like it being a new door. Did you like it when it looked like slide? Do you not like me? Is it because my family ran Baker off? Is that it? No, the door used to look like, so it was the same
But like
thing.
the door frame, is it like, was there a door always here?
Yes.
What, so would they have to come in and out of here for any reason? Like what's on the other side over there? Just an outside sitting area?
Weddings do. So we are walking on top of the bowling alley, the original bowling alley.
Oh,
Right here.
like see how that's going off like that?
Yeah. We have the spa below us.
Oh. Wow.
Oh. Okay.
It had to have been like coming in and out.
Coming in and out.
Yeah, like maybe like a whole class like coming in.
Yeah. Come on, girl. Let's go. Can you back away, please?
It's like a study hall for the girls.
This is where they would have been taught to be proper. And proper.
Set up and
That light's on.
No, it's not. No, it's
The
not.
light's on.
The light's on. We need to go inside.
So remember how we told you that light was turning on and on?
Yeah.
We turned it off and left our room and it's on. We could see it from the curtain.
I like the good stuff always comes from the governor's suite.
What? Did we turn that off?
I don't know. That's
I don't know either.
Oh my gosh! Why would you do that?
I just peed. Now I'm scared.
Elijah, don't do that again.
Oh my god! You piece. They think that some of these are at different stages of the number 5 formula. And then over here, there's the fat tissue.
Is that your music box going on?
Yeah, that's the music box going off. It should.
No.
It's going off. If there's something there, can you get a little bit closer?
You can come in here with us.
Don't be shy.
Thank you.
Okay, if you're coming a little bit closer, do you see this red light on the floor? If you just get a little bit closer to it, you can make it turn to different colors. Or maybe you just like how that sounds.
It's a lot nicer than the creepy music that plays.
Do you want to walk over here and join us? I know this is probably really intimidating. We're all like sitting here with our phones out, but we can talk to you.
Who wants to do Estes and Meat Locker?
Me.
Do you believe in ghosts? Like, what's your opinion?
I don't know.
Okay. That gives the best Estes methods ever. He looks so uncomfortable. Okay, if there's anything here with us.
Can you tell Elijah hi? He doesn't know if he believes in spirits. Could you maybe change his mind?
Oh, that was a good one.
Thanks.
I don't hear anything.
You want to go in?
I do.
Alright. They say that sitting in the rocking chair puts you in a trance.
Correct.
So like if you're in the rocking chair and you have the Estes on it really gets you.
I've done the Estes on the rocking chair in there. That's the only way I've done it in there, and it's very like sensory deprivation.
Yeah. I want to talk to Norman Baker.
Quiet.
Quiet.
You were quiet for Elijah.
You don't want to talk to me? Like, because sometimes I like to push. Is your soul trapped here because you're an evil person? What you did to those people, now you're stuck here forever?
Hurt.
Is that not him?
Did Norman Baker hurt you?
Did he scam you out of money? Is that why you're bringing up money?
Stairs.
The same things over and over.
Stop.
Stop what?
Who are you?
Oh, my name's Liz. I'm just here out of respect to communicate.
Nothing.
Unless this is Norman, then I mean everything very disrespectfully.
Speak.
Oh. My name is Trinity, and I want to talk to Norman Baker.
Speak.
My name is Maddie. I work here. You might know me. That sounds so cocky.
I'm Elijah. I also work here.
Stop.
Is this Norman Baker?
Music.
Stop the music. Do you want us to move it somewhere? We've all introduced ourselves.
You speak. You're not saying anything.
Or did she introduce herself? Is that what it's on?
That's Deidre.
My turn.
Yeah, it's your
You
turn.
got it.
You got it. Oh.
Whisper.
Would you like us to whisper?
I do.
What would you like us to say to you? Can you communicate to us better if we're whispering?
Go.
No, I'm doing what you asked. I'm whispering. I turn off the music.
Where do you want us to go? You wanted us to come down here.
Always tend to get a very demanding presence
Down here?
Demanding
down
presence
here,
up
like
down here.
that. Like this is how it always goes.
Money.
I can't tell whenever she's saying money because it's like, did he take money from you, or were you the one taking the money?
Now.
What happened to your money?
Do you want your money back?
What do you want?
We want to know what happened to you and who you are.
Busy.
Doing what?
Are you too busy to talk to us?
What do you do down here all day?
We have had
Scared.
You're scared. What are you scared of?
we've had that come up over and over again.
Is this a worker?
Would you know?
What'd she say?
Would you know?
Would you know?
Do you work here? This look like a worker? Because I know that a lot of the nurses were kind of under the scam too.
It continues to say speak, 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 speak.
We're talking to you. What more do you want from us?
3 camera lights were red, like the
Let
whole
me.
time when we first got here, and they're off now.
What?
The security,
The security camera lights turned off?
Yeah, they were red. Like there was.
Yes, I saw when we got down.
And it's been on like that, but I just looked up and they're off, and I've never seen it off.
Did you turn off the lights? Did you turn off the security cameras?
That's concerning.
Yeah.
And that's where the music box was going off.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
I moved it to
Where
this
do you-
hallway and it hasn't been going off.
Where do you want us to go?
Getting the bad vibes.
Hurt.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
gonna leave.
Are you gonna hurt somebody?
Everything's still here.
I can't have it tell me to speak anymore.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Speak.
We keep speaking, we keep asking.
Yeah. I wonder if they're just on a timer, but it's always lit up red.
And I just feel like there's so many people here that just want to be able to tell their story, and they can't.
What do you think's like stopping them?
I think Norman stops them.
Like, so you really think he's like still here?
I
Like,
absolutely
silencing them?
believe that Norman's still here.
Wow. I would be interested with security footage on that one because I don't know if you
They're
heard.
like back
it turned
on
off
full.
whenever you were in there. Yeah, it is. Like, okay, let me turn this light off so you guys can like see. But like, yeah, there's the security light
It
right
had been like
there.
that the whole time we were here.
What's going on?
I felt something touch my hair.
You did,
And so I put that back there.
and it started going off.
Yeah.
Every time I got here. Like, it starts out
Oh.
fine. And then it's bad vibes.
Are you ready for Trinity to talk to you? It's going off. Can you please step away from the REM pod? Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, no. I see that you're here. I appreciate you making yourself known. I guess since you're here, if you want to communicate with us.
What the hell is going on?
Welcome to the Crescent Hotel.
It's blue, Lizzie.
That's crazy.
Green.
Can you let go of that one and walk back over to this one? Can I see you have this one go off again? Can you make this one go off again? Can you walk back over here?
Okay. Right. Ready?
Yep, there it goes. Yeah.
That was right after I
I
started.
seriously feel like they don't want you to go under.
If you don't want Trinity to go under, can you make the light go all the way to red? Can you wrap your fist around the whole thing? If you want her to go under, can you go back to the one behind her? This one is no. The one behind her is yes.
Right.
Security camera went off again.
The security camera went off again?
The lights are off again.
Well, she's going under whether you like it or not, but I'm going to need you to answer the question. This front one is no. This back one is yes. The one closest to me is no. The one in the back means that she should go under.
That was a female voice that just came across.
Why is it not going now?
Alright. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. It went from all that to nothing.
To nothing. It just went. It was like, don't ask us. Yes.
Well, you've got her.
Okay,
What
she's
the
underneath.
heck?
She's underneath now. So now you don't even have to use those if you don't want to. You can use her to talk through and kind of communicate some sentences or maybe what your name is, whatever you want to say. So if there's anything here.
The light?
In the middle. Yeah. Do you see the light? Are you the one pressing the light? Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool talent you got there. Are you able to say what your name is? Or maybe even press the light behind Trinity again? The girl who's sitting in the rocking chair, her name's Trinity.
Are you touching her?
Behind. I just asked her to go behind her. I just asked her to go behind her. It's behind her?
Yeah.
You guys didn't see that.
Who are you? We're in your space, Norman. This is not your space no more. You need to let those people go.
Go?
Yeah.
They do need to be let go. All the souls that you took.
My back is hot.
Okay, I need you to let go of Trinity.
It feels like I'm standing next to a fire.
If you need to take energy from something, can you take energy from one of the REM pods or the light, not her?
I'm going to. There's something in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if this is, I just want to confirm, if this is Norm, can you go to the REM pod behind Trinity? If this is one of the patients, can you go to the REM? Yeah.
Welcome, Norman. This place is no longer yours.
My back is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I've never heard the word hot used down here.
It's like you know when you like a fire stand like hot. Shit.
Yeah. I think it's trying to use your energy instead of like the lights to communicate.
It's weird.
I don't like it in here. Well, you're next.
Oh, okay. If anything's here, I'm gonna be going under, and you can use me as a vessel to talk through, but you cannot stay with me. Jeez.
It's blue. Did you guys get any answers from me?
We did. get
Okay,
some
instantly,
interesting things, but I'm not
massive
sure.
headache.
No one went behind her. Or whatever.
Oh yeah, the stuff behind you. There
It
was,
says something about there's no one here, and if it yes, go to the back one, it turned on.
and it turned on.
Who is in this room with us?
This might be one of the worst headaches I've ever had.
I've been getting a bad headache too.
Why pain? Why does everyone experience pain? From our throats, to our backs, to our head. Why pain?
Do you not want to talk through Lizzie? Because she's got that hat on.
I don't know what it said.
Can you repeat what you just said, please?
There's a very quiet woman's voice. I don't know what it said either.
We need you to speak clearer so we can hear what you're trying to say.
Let her talk.
I don't know what that. I'm trying. Okay, one second. I need to like get more in the zone because I can't tell what this stuff is saying. But it's like loud and abrupt. And then the rest is like dead silent.
Is something not letting you talk to us?
What's in the jars? Why did you save the tumors? Why did you save the cancer?
If you can hear my voice, can you make a loud knock?
It's getting hot.
Oh, they're both going off. Why is it hot in here if this was used as a cold storage? Why are you making it hot? Are you angry?
My head hurts really bad. My throat hurts really bad. But I'm like not making out any like sentences, any words. And I'm not hearing anything else. Dead. Heard something. That was a woman's voice.
Do you know that you're dead? Can you touch Lizzie? Is there a way?
I'm here. I'm gone.
Okay. Is there a way for you to?
I keep
review-
feeling like something's like lightly like resting its arm or like its hand on me right here. Like that.
Thank you. You just touch her gently. Don't hurt her.
I'm like not getting anything. I just feel sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what's. Yeah, I just feel horrible.
I'm gonna say you look a little paler.
Yeah. My throat hurts.
Yeah.
Literally, look
Yeah,
at that, Elijah.
Wait, what?
Her neck is red right here. Do you see that?
Yeah, and up top.
Oh my gosh, it
You see
literally
it?
looks like.
Oh.
Her fingerprints.
Yeah, it's not happy with you. Let's go check check out the site where the jars of the body parts were found. It's so interesting too because I'm feeling like so much better. It's almost like a weight's been lifted off like just after leaving. Oh, you guys have it labeled. Bottle burial gravesite. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, you probably could just keep digging up bottles there.
But some of those are like open, so that means that stuff is seeped
Like
into
the ground, like into the earth.
Yeah.
Maddie came back with us. She's cocooned over there. And this is a fun she looks so cute. Okay, so we have a little seance circle going on in there. REM pod in the middle. I put that REM pod back in the spot over on the bed. It was already going off like the second that I set it down, but I had to change the batteries and recover some data. All you have to do is come over to the light and get close to it. And the closer you get to it, the more pretty colors it turns. Anything in here that wants to communicate either through these REM pods or over with Trinity through her spirit box. It said 7.
Oh my god.
No. Oh. What? Whenever you were packing up down in the morgue, I was like, okay, so you actually remember the numbers from downstairs.
It was 13, 11, 9.
And then I was like, yeah, whenever I was under Estes, I was worried that it was counting down. And she was like, oh, if it says 7, I'm gone. Yeah, what were the numbers?
It was 13, 11, 9.
Oh, you remember?
I remember because I wrote it down.
Oh, okay, go off. Yeah, I got worried that it was counting down for a second. Yeah, it's interesting that...
Because that's counting down by 2s.
Yeah.
So, if we hear a 7 later...
She said that back.
Can you say 5? Well, let's do an EVP.
Yep. Yep. Is there something sitting on the bed? Can you please back away from the REM pod? I don't know why, it's just chilling on the bed. It's been doing this all day. Oh, okay, so we're sitting here. We're doing an EVP. I didn't hear anything, but Trinity and Maddie both just said that they heard a woman howl.
Like in the distance. It was like, whoa. like a whoa.
Okay guys, so I guess that's gonna wrap it up for us for tonight. I'm going to get ready for bed. Trinity and I will check back in with you guys in the morning. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and have to stop the video right there because the Crescent Hotel ended up inviting us back for a night 2. And not only that, but they asked us to stay in a room that I didn't even know they had. The room of Norman Baker himself. And this is gonna be a video that you guys do not want to miss. So subscribe, hit the bell notifications, and go to your settings and make sure your notifications for YouTube is turned on so you actually get the notification. I'll see you guys next week for part 2.